Okay, it's ready.
We're good? We ready? Get your big cowboy hat out of the way.
Oh, sorry, sir.
It's shading. Okay. So, first of all, I got to look and see that we can see all this on the screen, and it looks good. This page 333, an easy page to remember. I'm having a hard time remembering the new page numbers from the new book, but since these are three dimensionals, they're on page 333 in the book. Okay? There's three types of three-dimensional drawings. There is the easiest one, which I'm going to talk about today, an oblique. Okay? An oblique actually has three different types of obliques. Even though they're only showing you two here, the Cavalier oblique and the cabinet oblique, there's a third type called a general oblique that varies from 1/2 the depth, like the cabinet is, to full depth, like the Cavalier oblique is. Okay? That's the easiest one, but it's also the least accurate. It's just front view and add depth to it at a 30-degree angle. Okay? So that means you need to pay attention to which triangle you're using. You want to use the 30-60 degree triangle, the one that looks like a ramp, not a rooftop. Okay? 45 degree looks like a rooftop. 30-60, remember all three angles of any triangle equal 180, so if you have 30 and 60, that's 90 plus another 90 to be 180. Okay? So that's an oblique drawing. The second type of drawing is an isometric. Okay? Isometric drawing, you tilt it up at a 30-degree angle and back at a 30-degree angle so that you can see the actual depth. Because if you're looking directly at a front view of an object, you can't really see the depth as you do in an oblique. So it's really an inaccurate drawing. Okay? The third type of pictorial drawing, these are all pictorials or three-dimensional because they show depth, width, and height all in the same drawing. The third type is a perspective drawing. 1-point perspective, also called a parallel perspective. 2-point perspective, also called an angular perspective. Okay? And the angular perspective is kind of like an isometric. The parallel perspective is like an oblique, where you have just the front view and you add depth, but rather than going a certain angle, it's going to the vanishing point. Okay? There's actually a third type of perspective drawing called a 3-point perspective that you use if you're drawing a tall building like a skyscraper. Okay? So I'm going to move that out of the way now, and I'm going to do the first type, the oblique drawing. If you flip through the book, I believe it's on 348. If you want to read more about the oblique drawing, it has a little definition of it on 340, I think it's 349. Okay? Oblique drawings, 2-point perspectives. Okay, let's go to 350. Notice page 350 is the same as the sheet that I have that you have the directions for, but I added a little bit extra on it. Okay? The top half of it is all isometric. This little section at the bottom is drawing an oblique drawing. Okay? Oblique drawing, draw the front view, add the depth. You do not need a centering box. So that's kind of nice. You don't need a centering box, and since you don't need a centering box, that means that now you don't have to do a horizontal drawing. You can do it vertical like this, and you can fit two drawings on a sheet, which is kind of nice. If you do a 1/4 of an inch border, 1/4 of an inch border, all the way around, you can do two drawings on one sheet of paper. That saves you a ton of time because you only got to tape one down. In fact, a lot of people, even on the first day, get two of them done in one day on the oblique. So you just do a 1/4 of an inch border. And then, if you look either on page 333 in the book, I prefer to not use these books. I'd rather use the sheet because it just keeps the books in better shape. Okay, but if you look on the bottom of the sheet, usually green or pink, it has plotting the starting point of the drawing. Okay, so here, first one, it says that the width is 1/2 of an inch. Okay, to find out which is the width at the top of the page here, you can use this top section to tell you what the depth, width, and height are. Depth is the thickness here, height, how tall it is, and width here. Then it says locate the center of the drawing area. This is really important, folks, not just for drafting, but for anything. Any parallelogram, when you want to find the center of it, if it's square, rectangular, or whatever, you can go from upper corner to lower corner, upper corner to lower corner, and where those lines intersect is the center of the work area. Okay, I'm going to zoom in here just a little bit. Zoom in just a little bit, right about there. That looks good. So that's the center of the work area where they intersect. Now from that point, just come over half the width. Okay, the very first drawing we're doing here looks like this. So it's 4 inches. We go over 1/2 of that, straight over 2 inches. Okay, so I mark it 2 inches right there. And remember, you're using the 30-60 degree triangle. So then it tells you go down half the depth. That half D is half the depth. Depth is 1.5, so we go 3/4. If you can't remember that, just remember money. Half of $1.50 is 3/4, right? So we come down 3/4. All right. So I measure that one 3/4, and then straight down half the height. The object of this guy is, I believe it's 2.5, so we'd go down 1.25. 1.25, right about to there. Okay, so that is the starting point of the drawing. That's this lower corner right down here. Now you just do the front view, and you'll see why this works here in just a little bit. Okay, so I have my starting point. Now I actually draw the object 4 inches over. It is going to be 2.5 tall, so I'm going to go up 2.5, 2.5, and height, depth, width. At this point here, I just draw my front view, okay? And we said that it's 4 inches long, which is right to there. And it's got a little notch cut out of it. It looks like up about 3/4 of an inch. And then this line here looks like it is just a dashed line, but it's really a 1. So this is a 1 right here, showing you that's 1 inch space cut out of it. And it goes back 1.5. So 1.5, okay? And then down 3/4 of an inch and up 3/4 of an inch. From the top, I'm just doing the front view, 3/4 of an inch there, up 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. And I just drew the front view, okay? I have to finish this out by cutting this notch out of it. Okay, now's when things get just a little bit tricky. So front view, not too tough, right? Now we just add our depth. The big thing here is you just make sure you're consistent, make sure it's all of them are 30 degrees. 30 degrees up from that corner, 30 degrees up from this corner, 30 degrees from here, 30 degrees, okay? And I usually just draw all my lines first, and then I come back and measure them, okay? So I'm just adding depth to them. The depth is 1.5, so we're doing a full, we're gonna do a cavalier oblique full depth to start with, just so we're not getting confused here. And then we go here, here, and are we done? What are we missing? Okay, so, well, we don't need hidden lines in pictorials. That's kind of the cool thing. You don't need hidden lines, but what you do need, I'm trying to keep this centered for the camera over here. What you do need to do is add your corner in here. Since you cut this out, remember, a pictorial is like a picture. It is as it really appears. So you need to bring this line here, that spot that you cut out, Now you're going to see the back side in there. Okay, does that make sense? You're going to see the back side here where you cut it out. This corner, you're going to see that angle here. And you can kind of, then you can see the back end where it goes up here. Okay, so then I would like you notice how we fit pretty nicely on a half sheet of paper. Okay, which is kind of nice because now I can go to the bottom and do another drawing that's already taped down and ready for it. Okay, most people get 2 drawings done because really you only have to do the front view, add your depth, side view. The information for the centering is on page 350. 333 shows all of the different types of pictorials. And then on the back side of these pictorials, and I'm going to just have you start with 19 because it's on there. It's quick and easy. It's the one that I demonstrated. Top's isometric here, bottom's oblique. Okay. I think that's it. Make sure you use the 30-60 degree triangle. If you want to add the dimensions, you would add your dimensions coming up here, like height, depth, and then width is going all the way across here. At this point, if you already know how to do the dimensioning, it is good practice, and some people like doing it and some don't, but the big thing is when you do your dimensioning, keep them parallel to the object. So if this is going to be the width, it's going across horizontal here. You have width. Height going up here. Height going up here. Little break in the line here. And then depth, you'd make the line straight across just like you would. Well, you could do it over here, you could do your depth, or you could do it up top, wherever you want to do it, it's fine. But do make sure it's at 30 degrees, same as the dimension on here. And some people like doing the dimension, use your tools for it though. So basically when we say this is a pictorial, that just means we added that 3rd dimension. We've added depth, we had front view. Up till now we've been doing 2-dimensional drawings where they just had width and height. Now we add depth in the same view, okay? You don't need to put hidden lines on there because our mind doesn't look at things. Okay, this is a hidden line. Okay, Carson, can you pause, please?
I can.
Thank you, sir.
Do a Reno.